So, you guys want to know just how much it costs to build this? Well, I'm going to tell you. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Casey, and this is my Jeep. And today, well, I wanted to talk to you about just how much this costs to build. Now, I've been kind of looking at different Jeep parts because I'm kind of thinking about what my next build is going to look like. I was just looking back at all of the expenses that I had building this Jeep, and I thought, why not make a video to just show you guys if you were looking to get into buying, well, a JK or even a JL, a lot of these parts are going to cost the same. So this video is going to break it down into 4 sections. There's steering and suspension, drivetrain, armor, and other accessories. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you be part of the community here. I do upload videos every week as well. Throughout the week, I do news uploads about the off-road community. Now, I will be going over all of these parts with US pricing. I know a majority of you guys are down in the United States, but I do have a lot of subscribers here in Canada as well. But the prices for today, I'm just going to cover them in US, and when I do the total at the end, I'll show you guys what it is with a Canadian conversion as well. So as with all my videos, guys, there is links down in the description below to any of the products that I've featured here on this video. So with all that said, let's get started. We're going to do a walk around of the Jeep. We're going to cover off those 4 different categories, and I'm going to explain to you just how much all of those parts would cost if you went out and got them. All right, diving into steering and suspension. The most common thing that people are going to do with their Jeeps is lift it. On mine, I have the Rock Crawler X Factor 3.5-inch lift with all 8 adjustable control arms, as well as Bilstein 5100 shocks. This is going to run about $2,400. For the steering, I have an adjustable tie rod and drag link. Both of these are made by Synergy, and the tie rod is about $375, and the drag link is about $300. The other modification, and one of my favorite modifications, is the hydraulic assist steering. Now, I got this from West Texas Off-Road. It's called a Redneck Ram. And after you send your core return of your steering box, because they do send you one as part of the kit that's already ported and ready to be put into your Jeep, it's going to run you about $600. Now, moving on to drivetrain. This is probably where I've spent the most amount of money. And if you watched my video a few uploads ago, I talked about how I basically destroyed my front axle and had to replace that. So I ended up putting in a Prorock 44 with some chromoly axle shafts. And as part of that, I re-geared to 513 gears, as well as I re-geared the back to 513s to match. So a fully assembled Dynatrack Prorock 44 with gears, lockers, axle shafts, as well as a gear set to do your rear axle is going to run you about $4,800. You could spend a little bit more than that if you went with RCV axle shafts, for instance, or if you didn't already have a Rubicon where you were reusing your electronic locker. You may be paying a bit more to add in ARB air lockers. I was able to reuse both of my electronic Rubicon lockers, so that probably saved me upwards of $2,000 by not having to buy those aftermarket ARB air lockers. I've also replaced my front drive shaft. An aftermarket double cardan drive shaft from any major manufacturer is going to run about $500. Next to me, I also am running trail ready beadlocks and a set of BF Goodrich Km2 37 by 12.5-inch tires. I was fortunate enough to get these trail ready beadlocks used off someone who was parting out their Jeep, but generally if you're going to be buying them new, they're going to run you about $489, around $500 per wheel, and you're probably going to want 5 of them. 37-inch tires aren't cheap either, and they're usually around $375 or so per tire. Inside there you can see that I've mounted up a Trail Dash 2, and I use that to change my computer to adjust for the new axle gear ratios as well as the larger tire size. This stops my Jeep from throwing any codes, as well it keeps the speedometer correct and the ABS sensors working properly. The Trail Dash 2 will run you about $500. Now let's talk about armor. I'm including things like bumpers, fenders, skid plates, and tire carriers in this category. On the front of my Jeep, I have the EVO Manufacturing Pro Series bumper as well as lower skid plate, and this will run about $935. I also have EVO's steel front and rear fenders on here, and they run about $1,200. Now next to me I have EVO's boatside bombers and rocker armor, and these will run about $825, and these are made of steel. Underneath, I also run EVO's Protect armor, which includes the engine oil pan, transmission pan, exhaust cross member, and a connector plate. And this skid system runs about $715. I also installed EVO's aluminum quarter armor when I caved in my side, which also replaces my rear tail lights. These are about $329. And for a tire carrier, I went with Poison Spyder's body mount tire carrier, and this will run about $980. And as part of all these modifications, I did relocate my Evap canister up above the rear axle, and the Nemesis Industries kit which I have installed runs about $125. And as well, I did do a pre-axle dump exhaust. This is made by MagnaFlow, and it's about $425. I also have a ton of lighting on my Jeep. Pretty much all of it is made by KC Highlights. These are the Flex Series, right here. These are the Flex Series lights. I have 2 pairs of these, 1 pair on my A-pillars and 1 pair on my front bumper. Each pair goes for about $375. I have a 10-inch Flex Series combo beam on my front bumper, and that goes for about $449. For headlights, I have KC Highlights Gravity 7-inch LED headlights, and these are $699. And below that, you can see one of my many KC Highlights Cyclone LED lights. These ones are set up as turn signals and running lights. I have 18 Cyclones in total between rock lights, courtesy lights, and as well these signal lights, and they're $29 each. Underneath the Jeep, I have KC Highlights C-Series RGB LED rock lights, and that's a 6 light kit, which is pretty cool because you can change it to any color you want, and that's $199. And here in the trunk of the Jeep, I have a pair of Vi-Air 480C compressors, which are the high flow 200 PSI units, and a pair of these are $379. Stuffed under here, I have a 10-gallon air tank, as well as all the other accessories and hoses and fittings and wire that I needed to set that up. I probably spent around $300 in additional things that I needed to get this up and running. I have a 4-gallon Rotopax. This goes for about $120, and each of these handles, well, the locking ones and a non-locking one will set you back about 80 bucks. And for some additional security, I added this Tuffy security enclosure, which is enclosed on 4 sides and can't be opened when the Jeep's tailgate is closed. And this runs about $435. And let's not forget my most commonly used recovery item on the Jeep. That is the Warn Platinum 10S winch with wireless remote and synthetic line, and that's $1,850. I've also covered all of my seats in these, well, these are the previous company Trek Armor, now called BarTac, and I have these on my front and rear seats, and a set of these is around $600. And let's not forget about the soft top. This one is made by Offroad Heroes. It is a frameless design with fastback. I paid around $600 for it, but I think that Offroad Heroes went out of business not too long ago. Best Top also makes the Trek Top series, which is available in a fastback. They start around the same price, and you can spend upwards of $1,100 or $1,200 for the models with more features and functionality. So inside the Jeep, I have a whole pile of accessories, from power distribution to phone mounts to the tablet to my radios, and I'm just going to group that together and say I probably spent around $500 collecting all of those parts, as well as any wiring I needed to install them into the Jeep. Alright, so there you have it, guys. That's a quick walk around of all of my major modifications that I've made to my Jeep since buying it around 3 years ago. If we total all of that together, we're sitting at around $26,000 in modifications. Now, I haven't included any taxes in that because it's going to differ from state to state as well. If you are in Canada, the provinces have different tax rates, and I haven't included any labor in that. There are hundreds of hours into my Jeep, guys. So don't forget just how much time it takes to modify your rig, and if you're having to pay somebody shop rates in order to have that done, it's really going to step up the cost. I do like to try to do as much as I can, but some of it is just far too time consuming, or I don't want to risk anything going wrong, like setting up ring and pinions and I'm putting thousands of kilometers on my Jeep. I want to make sure it's done properly and reliably. And if you have any questions or comments, you want to know anything about my Jeep, let me know down below. I'm pretty active in the comments section, and I will try to help you out with whatever I can. With that said, thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you soon in the next upload.